Evening all, and welcome to Whale the Oar, Dick Moby. This is the second session of me unreading the great American novel of Herman Melville, Moby Dick. The worst book I've ever read, the only book that I would like to have not read. And so I'm going to unread it. Last time the terrible whale reconstructed the crew from odd parts that it dredged up from the deeps. It created a boat, populated it with a crew, and hopefully in this chapter 134 the whale will leave them alone and let them sail home in peace. I'm wearing a hat that in the style of a fisherman, with the intention of making me feel like I'm in the mood for this, which frankly I'm not. I don't think anyone's in the mood for anything at the moment, so maybe this will cheer everyone up. So chapter 134, and without further ado, here we go. Sun earliest the fore eastward dew sat, dial its on backward gone anticipatingly glance heliotrope, hid his, scuttle his within fixed stood Ahab slouched, before night the on as still while, leg another him made carpenter the craft wrecked Ahab's of keel broken that of, meantime, morrow the four weapons fresh their sharpening and boats spare that of rigging. Sorry, it takes a while to get into the rhythm of it. I'm doing better than last time. I've managed 3 sentences. Where was I? Morrow the four weapons fresh their sharpening and boats spare, that of rigging careful and complete, that in lanterns by toiled men, that as daylight nearly till heard was grindstone, that of hum the and hammers of sound the only night previous the on as nearly past everything, and shortened was sail the more once so. The word hammers and hammered has come up surprisingly frequently in the first, or I should say the last chapter and epilogue. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what the relevance of hammers is out at sea, but I'm not going to read it forward. I'm not going to give up and actually try and work out what's going on. I'm hoping that this makes very little sense. Forwards or backwards, and the obsession with hammers on a ship, the Pequod, that is, I would say about to meet a whale, but actually having met a whale and been constructed therefrom, is confusing at best. Let's continue. Leeward to sight in still was whale there, descended dusk when, though it solve isle, brain my pexit beak hawks alike, judges of line hull that of ghosts the by-backed lawyers that all baffle might now riddle are theirs. That house? Perish could I ere again seen be to was still but before go to was he and gone Parsy there mine in fast so clinched what hearts others of outdrive to seek I valiantly how. Oh, boat broken my concerning, there Starbuck to same the talked I yesterday, and omens called things the unmuttered he. Forward went men that as then Ahab muttered, mechanical as and. Stubb cried, fire feel us as. Brave? Men brave, field ye? Last his spout to only but. More once rise heel, men I. Third the bee will tomorrow. Floated he's days to. Dick Moby with so. Evermore for sink to again rise then. Surface that to rise twice will things drowning. Drown they erefore. Encore cry, and aloud laugh then. Omens called things that in men ye believe, yet purpose his toes hawser Ahab. What is it? Hawser? I'm not well up on my maritime phrases and words, I'm afraid. So I may get some of these things wrong. I'm going to go with hawser. It's a guess. Toes hawser Ahabs that know. That hear ye till and. Crack me hear ye'll. Break I ere but. So look may I and. Gale in frigates dismasted. Tow that ropes as. Stranded half strained feel I. Legs 100 upon moves that centipede a soul's Ahab but. Part bodies his Ahab 'tis. Foot lonely on uppropped. Lance shivered on leaning. Stump the two down cut man old and ye see ye. Men me round stand. Mine obey'st thou that. Underling thou look. Orders under act I. Lieutenant fates thee am I. Fool. Yes I am. Rolled ocean this before years billion a me and thee by rehearsed 'twas. Decreed immutably acts whole this. Man Ahab ever for is Ahab. Blank unfeatured lipless hand this of palm the careful now. Hand this of palm the as me to face thy of front the bee. Whale the of matter this in but. Eyes another's in one in. What knowst thou? Saw both we hour that since ever thee to moved strangely felt I've late of Starbuck. More him hunt to blasphemy and impiety. Oh, world infernal that to him by towed be we shall. See the of bottom that to him by dragged be we shall. Man last the swamps he till fish murderous this chasing keep we shall. Have thou wouldst more what? So many questions. I hope these will be answered. Have thou wouldst more what? Warnings with thee mobbing angels good all. Gone shadow evil thee under from snatched more once leg very thy. Splinters to stove twice, chase days too, madness devils than worse that's. This of more no name Jesus in. Man, old, him capture thou wilt never, never, Starbuck cried. Thyself show instant single one, for but God great. Him, yet him slay I'll but, it through straight dive and yea, globe unmeasured the girdle times 10 I'll. Life yaw for steady, steady, there helm, sheets the all on pull higher royals the hoist, irons the, harpooneers, oars the collect, boats that of rigging the two hands all. Quick! Nailed him keep, there aloft, fish the in 'tis. It dart did hand this, fool blistered, no, Wales white the men, iron forged the. It seed ye? There, this is impossible. It seed ye. There litter the overtoss. Two, the harpoon the belfry the. This is like a random selection of words. Somebody's just thrown a dart at a dictionary. Belfry the were he if as shakes Ahab old that it in rings death knell what? Word little that means what? Gone, line my. Under dragging him saw I thought I. Line your of tangles thee among court, Stubbs said. Sir, I. Found be to nowhere was Parsi that tidings the with him to return they quickly but. Gone not, him find. Forecastle, cabin, allow above ye of all run. See, I know forecastle. I did all right with forecastle, didn't I? The whole maritime thing. I think it's forecastle. No hesitation there. I'm hoping that as I unread this, I will forget a lot of the maritime knowledge that I do have. By the start of the book, I'll be entirely ignorant of whales and whaling. At the moment, I'm quite an authority on whales and whaling, having read this previously, but as I go through, the knowledge will disappear from my mind as I unlearn it. We can unlearn together. Where was I? Something about black vomit. Oh yes, found to nowhere. I just read forecastle, hadn't I? Forecastle cabin allow above ye of all run. The wrench vomit black the. In court been have must he, Stubb cried. Parsi the. There not was Parsi the. Company the mustering upon. True was thought hinted man's old the. All them call quick. Missing? Be cannot it heaven by. Yet him seen not have I surely. Men the muster, do will lance shivered that there, Cain, for something me give. Thee not, man, body my. Sir? Mate craven as such have should soul the in Captain Unconquerable that. Fate accursed. Now me gauze splinter this how. Oh. Sir, bullocks that towards thee help first me let. Cruise boats the muster and away, Starbuck mister. Them... I get there's some poetry in including the word muster and mister so close together. It's like they knew I was going to do this. It's like Herman Melville was writing this thinking, what's going to confuse this poor man the most as he tries to unread this. Cruise boats the muster and away, Starbuck mister. Them rig and boats spare that of rest the down. Keeper's ship again sail the on pile then helm up. Sir, leeward to dead. Way which? There aloft. Roof yonder scrape mast any. Floor yonder touch lead any can. Being inaccessible and proper own his in Ahab old greys as much so can. Fiend nor, man nor, whale white nor. Lost that's one dead this than. Me more jot one mine of bone, living no account I and untouched is Ahab old, bone broken with even but. It's siege ye, Stubb, pieces to splintered all, and I. Concern true with Stubb said. Hope I, sir, broken bones no but. Leg that into work, good put I. Upcoming now, Carpenter the said. Sir, stood not has ferrule the. Oh dear, there's something gone wrong with somebody's leg. Is it Ahab's leg, I assume? Or maybe this carpenter has come up to repair Ahab's leg. Presumably it was made improperly by the whale in chapter 135, who presumably is not a carpenter himself, and so the ship's carpenter. He was able to construct a carpenter. He was very forward thinking. He constructed a carpenter in order for the carpenters to subsequently fix Ahab's leg, which the whale couldn't do himself on account of not being able to use a hammer very effectively. Has he then oftener leaned, had Ahab old wood and will he who leaner the be sometimes lean to sweet tis Starbuck, aye. Splinter sharp short one but leaving off snapped bean had leg ivory his. Oh, it's an ivory leg. Very nice. Very posh. Him assist to foremost the bean far thus had who Starbuck of shoulder the upon half hung still he himself by standing of instead as. Him upon fastened were eyes all. Deck the two helped was he when but. Mishap days previous the as him exhaust so it did nor float easy comparatively afforded which half broken boats his to clinging grimly found now was Ahab so before day the fidela with as one any befallen have to seemed ill serious even or fatal no but there were these all planks and oars shattered rope of intricacies inextricable lances and harpoons wrenched contusions livid ankles and wrists shoulders sprained some decks her on them landed safely and at court be could else whatever and oars tubs mariners floating the up-picked boat a dropping and rescue the to down bearing came again fight whole the descried having ship attentive before as pace methodic travellers at way leeward his continued lines intertangled the him after trailing and ocean the through forehead pleated his pushed he done was time that for work that his satisfied if as soon but See the smiting sideways came, and back drew swiftly tail his, skin his touched, boats that of crumb or chip least the plank of bit, or stray whenever, and side to side from flukes his with feeling slowly moment, for lay now he. It to back his with and made had he destruction that of centre, the from distance little atu. It along him launched involuntarily. Surface the struck he as direction its modifying, whale that of momentum uprising first the. I'm just going to take a pause there to have a look in the Twitch chat to see if anyone's posted any exciting messages to me to attend to. No, nothing. Let's continue. This is proven very popular. I put the first episode of this on YouTube, and it's far more popular than any video I've ever posted of any of my game development activities, which is disappointing. But you know, maybe this is a new direction for me. This can pay the mortgage, which nothing else will. Although we don't have to pay the mortgage at the moment, do we? Because everybody's poorly, which is great. You know, not that everyone's poorly, but you know, financially. Until, you know, capitalism collapses and we all starve to death. Where was I? Oh yes, the momentum of the whale. Cave, seaside, from seals like it under from out struggled men his and Ahab, and downwards gunnel. Again fell it till ere the into, over and over turning, it sent and bottom its against forehead and broad his dashed whale white the. See the from perpendicularly shooting arrow-like as wires invisible by heaven towards updrawn seemed boat unstricken yet Ahab's. Perils concreted thousand that of simultaneousness wild that in. Could he whom rescue to pull creamy that into pulling his of admitted, parting now, line man's old the while and up him ladle. That's a threat. Up him ladle to one, some for out singing lustily was stub, and sharks of jaws dreaded the escape to upward legs his twitching, vile empty, and like down and up bobbed flask, little aslope while. Furniture floating other and, oars, line tubs revolving, the after out reaching, waters that encircling yet were crews to the while. Punch of bowl stirred swiftly in a nutmeg grated the like. Round and round danced wrecks that of chips cedar odorous the space afore, which in maelstrom boiling at in disappeared sea the into down diving. Then and beach surf beaten. It's difficult when there's a hyphenated word. The hyphen, you know, I think to support people who like to unread books, they should put the hyphen at the end of one line and at the start of the following line if it's a hyphenated broken word, so that you can, if you're reading it backwards, you can tell that, you know, as I said in the previous episode, it makes sense to have question marks at the start of a question. I think the Spanish do very well there with the upside down question mark, because you can tell as you approach the sentence that it's going to be a question. But with the hyphen at the end of the line, there's really no clue. Until you've made the mistake, you don't know there's a mistake there to be made. It's very difficult, and I think, you know, I should be given an honorary doctorate for this, and a consultancy with a punctuation firm, if there is such a thing. Then and beach surf beaten on husks rolling two like together them dashed. Flukes his towards flask and stub of boats involved more the dragged irresistibly, doing so by. Lines other that of tangles remaining the among rush sudden are made whale white the instant that. Again fast all was and. See the into steel of faggot intercepted the dropped. Chocks the near rope the sundering twice, then and bowsman the two, inboard it passed beyond line the in dragged. Steel of raise the without then and through within reached critically he, boat knife the seizing. Done be could thing one only, boat Ahab's of bows the in chocks the two up in chocks the up Two up, dripping and flashing came. Dripping and flashing came. Points and barbs bristling there all with, lances and harpoons loose, line that of mazes that in corkscrewed, twisted and caught. Sharks of teeth embattled, the than savage more sight are. Lo, when snarls of summit disencumber to weigh that hoping. Again it upon in jerking and hauling rapidly was then, and I'm so infantile. There's any reference to jerking or dripping and flashing coming, I'm hopeless. I just can't get past them. I'm sure reading them the other way, they're not quite so funny. Maybe they're not funny at all. Maybe it's just me. I'm a little child. Jerking and hauling rapidly was then and. Line more outpaid first Ahab. Opportunity that seizing. Charge tremendous more afore rally to if as. Little at aside drew whale the moment afore now though. Him in irons planted the towards boats devoted the warped themselves of and foreshortened. They that him to fast now lines three that of slack the entangled ways 1,000 in and recrossed and crossed so whale white the evolutions untraceable his in last at but let's scroll up a little bit before I carry on. I like to have a full paragraph to go out on the screen, otherwise it's tricky. Incidentally, if you want to read this forwards or backwards, this is available from gutenberg.org /files/2701/2701-h/2701-h.htm. So you can get it from there. That was the original title, actually, gutenberg.org/files/2701/2701-h/2701-h or the whale, but he decided to rename it Moby Dick or the whale, or in our case whale the or Dick Moby. Shreds to his but cry other every tore slogan unearthly Ahab's time that all while breadth planks are by but times at though him eluded while afore boats the field that in chargers trained like wheeling incessantly manoeuvred skillfully but made were boats those which of planks separate each annihilating on intent only seemed boat every from him darted irons that of heedless and side every on battle appalling offered tail lashing at and jaws open with boats the among rushing were it as instant and in almost speed furious into himself churning whale white the aye his to masts three ships the as plain were boats three all yet while and gained was limit close that air but vision sidelong whales the from onset coming the excludes course as such limit certain are within when for thing uncommon not a forehead his to up straight pull is that head and head whale the take would he them told he men his cheering and central was boat Ahab's crews three the forecoming now was and turned had Dick Moby himself assailant first the being time this by them into terror quick a strike to if as. Wow, it's exciting. He really isn't leaving him alone, is he? All lower them near keep but boats the from away keep thine is ship the Starbuck mister previous afternoon the rigged one spare a boat his reached had he as soon so cried he away lower perch his from dropped was rapidly still but dartingly less Ahab while halyards and backstays isolated the by deck the two slid stars shooting like men the shrouds the of rope ladders tedious the of unmindful bystand boats the for the at man one but excuse me for this is all getting far too exciting for the at man one but ye of all down hand at air harpoon thy and our thy Ahab cried Dick Moby son the to last your breach I veil in shower advancing of an of mistress dim the two Intensity sparkling, first it's from away fading, and fading gradually there stood and glacier alike glared and glittered intolerably. Moment before raised he that spray the sky that of margin bluer still the against relieved and sea that of plain blue that in seen suddenly so heaven to salmon like himself tossed whale white the bravado's immeasurable his in as cry there was breaches she there, breaches she there. Defiance of act his is, oh dear, defiance of act his is breaching this cases some in main his seam off shakes he waves enraged torn the moments those in more and miles 7 of distance the to place his shows foam dazzling of mountain a piling and air of element pure the into bulk entire his booms thus whale sperm the yay. Sperm count 1. I didn't say I was going to grow up about this. Whale sperm the depths furthest the from velocity utmost his with rising. We can chart our progress with this because there are 271 individual references to sperm in this book. We have 270 to go. Progress. Whale sperm the depths furthest the from velocity utmost his with rising. Breaching of phenomenon wondrous more farther by but vicinity his reveal now whale white the did head his in fountain mystic that of gush peaceable the by not spoutings indolent and calm any by not for view interburst bodily dick Moby ahead mile than less jet imaginary that of place the than ship the two nearer much as heard was lungs buckskin 30 of halloo triumphant the rifles of discharges combined the with as vibrate air the made that orchestra and to keynote the struck he when what the fuck is this paragraph about? Deck on pin it's to belayed rope there was hardly perch his reached Ahab had hardly for proved soon itself event that as spout oh there you go whale spout hyphenation again whale spout the fore thing other some mistaken had men the eagerness headlong therein so even was it disappears then and way that jet odd one casts Dick Moby not deceived been have ye men up me sway filthy heard been had more no cry first the since minutes some of lapse the after when Ahab cried him see ye if him for out not ye sing why them destroy might that thing thus outseek to blueness infinite that through strove still they how fate there for ripe and ready mortals of bearing full in spars the all yards rocking the on out far sat sunlight vivid the from eyes their shading others waving impatient with other the fourth reached some hand one with spar atu clinging legs and arms with tufted out spreadingly were palms tall of tops the like mastheads the lived rigging the to point did keel and lord one their Ahab which goal fatal to that directed all were and oneness interwelded were varieties all guiltiness and guilt fear man's that valor man's this crew the of individualities the all so even keel central long the by directed and balanced both way it's on shot which hull concrete one the in other each into round these all yet hemp and pitch and iron wood pine and maple and oak things contrasting all of together put was it through though sorry all them hell it's harder than it looks this I know I make it look easy but you know you try it go away now and unread the first 2 chapters then come back and you know I'll wait although if you're watching this on YouTube later which I would advise you to do, because this is not entertainment. This is not entertainment. All them held that ship one that as for 30 knot, man one were they. Race that to them enslaved so which agency unseen that of symbol the seemed this, irresistible as invisible arms by on vessel the rushed and sails there of bellies great made that wind the along bold were hearts there, things these all by, mark flying its towards plunging went craft wild there, which in way reckless, blind, unfearing, fixed the suspense nights past the of rack the day previous that of peril stirring the by and souls there all snatched had fate of hand the bison bounding the before scatter that hare's prairie timid as routed sides all on and up broken were they, but Ahab of awe growing the through sight of outkept now only not were these before felt have might them of some forebodings and fears pale whatever. A new worked wine old like, up bubblingly them worked time this by had chase the of frenzies the crew that all nigh well for out speak but did stub and. Crikey. That's the half-hour mark. This is flying by. This is much easier than the other day. I think I'm just getting into the stride of it. Stream that upon Watergate his shuts miller as blood off your dam will Ahab lungs your blister trump your blow. Desavoir. Trump your blow. After is himself fiend mad. The whale spout your split and on blow. Escape can't ye? It knew I. Stubb cried. Aye. Cry masthead the now was. Ahead right. Blows she there. Behind dust no leaves that gate, the go we. Ha ha! Keel our spines my, live oaks by four, see the on, spine-wise, me launch and, up me take one. Up me take one, some. Ha ha! This guy's a right joker, just thinking this is hilarious. Who's this Stubb? Yeah, Stubb's like the comic relief of the piece. Up me take one some, ha! Fellows brave too are I and ship this. Heart that at tingles and legs one's up creeps deck that of motion swift this but. Stubb cried. Hemp and salt by. Field level that upturns and ploughshare becomes. Missent cannonball when as see that in furrow as such leaving. On tour ship the. Whales have chased the touching matters subtile collateral many are. Subtile matters. I don't know that word, subtile. Leave a comment if you know what subtile means. Collateral many are. It's not subtle, is it? Maybe it's a archaic way of saying subtle. I don't know. Collateral. Subtile collateral many are. Statements these for inferable. Port his from quarter and leagues 93 exactly is he him assures that skill that is mariner windbound or becalmed the to avail present what of for. Allies whalemans the be must see the and win the end the in successful all at acuteness this render to but. Longitude or latitude of degree that or this reached about have will. Miles 102 gone have will whale this hence hours many so. Themselves to say and speed his of humour observed the two according. Deep the of Leviathan other that time Nantucketas. These when occasions are there almost so even. Hour and such or such at. Spot a such or such reach will train down the or train up the. It of say lightly and pulse babies out of that doctors as rate his time men. Hands therein watches with that pace every it's in known familiarity, so is railway modern of Leviathan iron mighty that as and land steadfast that as reliable as nigh well purposes desired all to is waker water in writ thing out of evanescence proverbial the skill wondrous hunters this to that so him too is coast pilots that as hunter that of mind sagacious the to established as almost his darkness the through wake future creatures the fish the obscures night when then daylight of hours several through marked diligently and chased being after four whale the with compass his at fisherman that does so visited be to eventually headland unseen remotely aright hit to certainly more the order in visible present at cape that of bearing precise the takes and compass his by stands pilot this as like point further some at but when is this sentence going to end at but again to return to shortly desires he which and knows well he trending general those whose coast out of sight losing about when pilot as somewhat cases these in and nonsense what nonsense period that during progression of rate probable his as well as sight of out while time as for swim to continue will he which in direction the both foretell accurately pretty circumstances giving certain under will they descried last when whale out of observation simple the from that commanders Nantucket the among geniuses natural great some by acquired confidence invincible and experience of prescience skill wonderful that is such for fishery sea south that in unprecedented means no by thing at is day into night through and night into day through continued whale particular one of pursuit pertinacious this that said it be here and said it was rush the foresting but 'tis matter no but night all her unkept been have should they aye sails topgallant the for thought I than faster travels he sail make and hands all upturn sir nothing see spread to light the for space little at allowing after Ahab cried him siege ye him siege ye a fresh manned punctually were mastheads three the daybreak at day second chase the 134 chapter. Wow, that went quite well. 40 minutes, less than 40 minutes for that chapter. Question is, do I carry on? Do I carry on and do another chapter now? Or do I do one chapter per episode? Even though some of the chapters may be quite short and some may be quite long. Do I want to carry on, press it to an hour? I don't think I can finish the next chapter. And I wouldn't want to leave it in the middle of a chapter because then, you know, people might lose the plot of it. It might sort of get confused as to what was going on in the previous episode and would have to go back and rewatch it and stuff. And it might be easier. Maybe I should do maybe I'll carry on, but I'll do a previously on Dick Moby at the start of every episode from now on. So you can carry on and, you know, you can pick up where you left off. Shall we carry on? Or we could just press on through. We could do an hour and 20. Or I could give up now. No, I'm going to carry on. I'm going to carry on. Much to your delight, I'm sure. First, I'm going to have a little drink because it's Friday night. I've completed my first week of working at home isolation, which is going great guns. Yeah, but I think, you know, I needed this. I needed a pint and a good story. I think we all needed that to maintain our mental health at these difficult, trying times. So let's carry on. It's a public service. On war night the Howe see to himself rousing intervals at when except dawn till there stood, hat his slouching and scuttle the within way half himself placed he, saying so and. Sir, thine is deck the now away, ye of all among divided be shall sum its times 10, then him raise again shall I day that on if and man's that is gold this, killed be shall he day thee upon, him raises first ye of whosoever, then and dead is whale white, the till here abide it let shall I but. It earned I for, mine is gold this men. Mainmast the in doubloon the towards advancing then. Morning till mannered it sea and head foremast the to hand fresh ascend stub mister. Down come aloft, wind the before full her keep. There helm, while heave to may and now passage masking he's. Morning before him overrun not must we. Starbuck mister. Stun sails topgallant and royals down. Night 'tis now, slower travel will he. Good. Leeward to straight, sir, before as. Seen last when heading how? Ere the from voice a cried, dark too, sir, now spout the sea can't. Unset remained still men look out the butt, dark almost was it soon. Rustling was robe golden, his of hem the only, done nearly was day the. Second a times 10 spout he though, spout every for out sing. Him seed ye? There aloft, now how? Shiver I, cold, cold. Neighbours his men nor gods nor earth peopled the of millions the among alone stands Ahab and mankind all are two ye and Starbuck is stub and what? Starbuck is stub. Reversed stub is Starbuck. No, it isn't. Reverse stub, I should know. Reverse stub is butts. thing one of poles opposite. There are two ye. Begone! Hint, darkling wives old and give and heads there shake not. Outright speak honourably will they. Man to outright speak to think gods the if. Dictionary there. Omen. Dictionary isn't going to help us at this stage. One ill and good grief. One ill and omen an sight solemn at is. Near drawing Starbuck said, Sir, I Wreck a before heard be should laugh nor groan. Poltroon, what the poltroon wert thou swear could I? Mechanical as and fire fearless as brave thee know not I did. Man, wreck a before laughs that this is thing soulless what? Ha ha, sir, keenly to mouth his pricked it. Refused ass the thistle the exclaimed Wreck the eyeing and see I didn't even laugh at that. Exclaimed Wreck the eyeing and advanced he mind captains in his place valiant at upkeep thus and fortitude unabated own his evince to through though vainly not intending perhaps and pause him sore stub. This as gloom added such some stole now their face man's old the over so across sail sometimes will clouds of troops fresh sky overclouded already and in as and it before paused he last at stern shattered to bow broken reversed there lay and quarter deck that upon dropped been had which boat wrecked own his past he turn every at hat slouched his beneath pacing fro and to thus breadth greater still to one spread to oar higher still sail hoist them bid to oar aloft men the hail to accept sound no uttering walking thus was he as Planks the pacing unrestingly anon. Motionless and aloft now, Ahab. On war day the way this inn. Perch his to him, lift to them, commanded he straightway. Sir, no, was reply the if, and him siege ye. I should get used to this, him siege ye. It's it seems to be all Ahab ever says. I assume this is Ahab speaking. Him siege ye, now doubloon that is whose. Heard was voices expired our allotted, that of second last they as soon so. Hand in binnacle watch. Deck the pacing then and time the take would Ahab. Down gone just as reported be would he when and mastheads manned the from announced regularly with spout glittering whales the intervals methodic known well the at. Moby Dick. Oh, they've hyphenated Moby Dick just to confuse me there. Moby Dick of wake leeward that in down bore Pequod the albatross and of wings double jointed the like stun sails with it outstretching sideways and up high canvas her stacking and side her to everything hoisting then and her by secured previously been having boat wrecked the of parts to the cranes there to up swayed soon were and her foremade now boats thee accordingly. Chase the overtaking of means intermediate promising most that offered happens sometimes it has then itself ship the vicissitude brief one some in only tolerable barely thing at or that at straining intense unintermitted and such period along so for endure crew any could nor one hopeless and not if prolonged indefinitely and prove would chase the on pushed circumstances these under now if that showed plainly which velocity are with swimming fin every his treble banked have to seemed for he whale that of power added the equal not did boat that of power added the but. Now thus was it. Oars double banked called is what with continued thus is chase the and boat second that work to help boat another by up picked being crew its stove is boater when that case that often is it. Helm there, oars out, sail the set. Again bones Ahab's in upruns sap eternal the me from off hands spout leaping a what still leeward to going there him see I so stand to wish I man me help good that's men 5 are here and sir oars 5 were there 5 4 3 2 1 at least that bit was easy. Men missing any? Me before it lay. It showing, Stubbs said, it is this, darted not was it for, sir, I. Safe is it? Arm bended, one on leaning draggingly, and rising way half, Ahab said, harpoon the. Souls inferior of circumferences entire that contain nature's noble those, centres pointless there and even for, intensities instantaneous of up made holy, woe of age whole at aggregate lifetime therein it decree gods that if still suffering one each in summary though hearts such so and lives whole men's feebler through diffused kindly pains shallow those of total some the pang deep one to condense sometimes hearts great compass instance and in it abbreviate more the much so but did prostration physical his of intensity this but. Ravines out from sounds desolate as him from came whales nameless inland far elephants of herds of foot under trodden one like boat stubs of bottom the in crushed all lying time afore doom bodies his to yielded he helplessly and crack did strength bodily Ahab's of tension long the wrinkles his in caking brine white the eyes blinded bloodshot with boat stubs into dragged rescue the two flew boats the Off swam sullenly he as, victim his from whale white, the parted effectually she, circle charmed the upbreaking, and pointed were prows pequods the. Off him drive, whale the on sail, shouted he, crest towering on rise to chancing, and again it of out struggling, but time the for him whelmed, and Dick Moby from him on dashed sea breaking a moment that but the on sail her hailed water the in Ahab that nigh so now was, and seen that upon down borne had she yards her squaring, and heads mast ships the from descried been had this all beginning the from. Meantime, I don't know why I'm reading that so excited, like it could mean anything. Headman's old the become now had centre whose zone direful the of this direful, this sounds sad, so zone direful the of edge outer the on remained they, then eyes straining with escape to hope themselves they could case that in nor all and Ahab castaways jeopardized the of destruction instant the for signal the by should that lest strike to eddy that into pull not dared they still by hard hovered still unharmed boats other the though and them upon swooping horizontally seemed he that made he circles ever contracting the swift planetarily the swift planetarily so, and aspect whales white there was appalling revolvingly so for themselves to look to them, for it was enough than more him succour could not end drifting other the at crew clinging the him eyed mildly and incuriously fidella stern fragmentary boats the from burst might shock chance least the which bubble tossed alike seen was head Ahab's helpless that as whirlpool a such of heart that in even afloat keep still could he though swim to cripple at of much too, and tail insolent whales that of foam that in smothered half Ahab meanwhile Maccabees of book that in elephants Antiochus's before cast mulberries and grapes of blood that absolute word soup that is before cast mulberries and grapes of blood that as him maddened to seemed boat splintered that of sight the assault deadly more, and another still to up himself lashing if as wake vengeful his in water the churning sideways crew wrecked the round and round swiftly swam Dick Moby attitude horizontal his resuming soon but him encircling be objects whatever view comprehensively most and best excuse me must whale the motion this by described previously pitch poling called exercise that in white lance that of poise up and down preliminary that to likened being it's from pitch poling designation it's received it whale sperm whale sperm it excuse me, whale threw me that's too exciting. Whale sperm the too peculiar is motion this. Well, that was a footnote. That whole thing was a footnote. In fact, it's possible the whole rest of the book from this point on was a footnote from this sentence here. So really, we should have started here, I guess, and then read the rest to this point. We should have read this first last time, then read the rest of the book backwards to this point, and then continued from here, I guess. Should I start again? Can we work it out? We can make sense of it, can't we? We can work out what's going on, I think. Scud there with summit, it's overleaped to triumphantly, eddy stone that of base the from recoil only billows channel baffled half, but the gale at in so. Right, that's us up to date now. We can we can carry on. Ere the into higher still spray shivered there, tossing vindictively. It against broke dazzlingly, waves confluent there, all with swells rising. Now the water that of outfeet more or 20 some rose, forehead wrinkled vast his when that so, body spindled whole his revolving slowly, time same that at and billows that in down and up, head white oblong his thrusting vertically. Distance little at lay now Dick Moby, pray his from withdrawing ripplingly. Well, that's 5 to 11. That's 55 minutes. I think this is a sensible place to leave it. I think as Dick Moby, pray from his, withdraws ripplingly, I think that might be a sensible place to leave it for next time. I think we can probably pick up from there. It's pretty obvious. Let's see how much we've got left of this chapter. Oh, I can't read this. God, it goes on forever. No, that's just too much. That's just too much. I think an hour's enough. So, so let's conclude there. That's it. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Whale or Dick Moby. I think we're poised now. We're well set up to dig into the meat of the story, or bury the rest of the story, I guess, in reverse, and really get into the descriptive whaling, the real maritime meat, the blubber. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are too. So do the thing. If you're watching this on YouTube, do the liking and subscribing and stuff. Is it a thumb up or is it I don't know what it is. Click something. If you're watching this on Twitch, thanks for joining me. It's been a pleasure, as ever. Follow me for more of this nonsense. And you can catch me on Twitter. I am Barry Skellen on Twitter. That'll do. Have a good night. We are done.